Hiya. This is kind of funny. Do you remember back in high school, junior high, maybe college, pep rallies and Girl Scout cookie selling and all that kind of fun stuff? Do you remember making posters and signs so you could, like, quote unquote, advertise or cheer your team on? Well, it turns out there's more to this sign thing than the posters and the pep rallies and the cookies. There was always that one girl that had that really gorgeous handwriting, and she could just do it, and it was pretty every single time. Drove me crazy. I do not have pretty handwriting. I should have been a doctor, except I'm not good with math and all that kind of stuff. So it's probably better that I'm not a doctor. It's better that I'm playing around with art and things like that. But you know the girl. You know the one that just had the beautiful handwriting, and everybody wanted her to write the posters and do the signage and sign the yearbook and make all the things pretty. It's fabulous. And now, we've got so many tutorials and fun things on how to do lettering and make signs pretty, and that's all great fun and dandy. But there's another thing that comes from this, and it's kind of funny. I don't know if you remember, there was a comedian, his name was Bill Engvall. He was part of the Blue Collar Comedy Tour years ago. Yes, I'm dating myself, but little known fact, maybe you knew, maybe you didn't know, he is an ordained minister, which makes this even funnier because he does a skit. His whole thing is, here's your sign. And when I think about that, and when I'm thinking about, the girl that wrote things that did lettering really pretty, and then I'm thinking about the poster boards and the pep rallies and the car washes and the cookies, and I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute. Where's my sign? What is my sign? Do I have a sign? Do I get a sign? Is somebody with really good handwriting going to write on my sign? Because I don't want to write on my sign because it's not legible at all. I'm going to link a YouTube video in the show notes to one of Bill Engvall's clips that he does. And the main reason I'm linking this, I just finished watching it and I'm cracking up, literally laughing out loud, because one of the jokes he does is about coming to Arkansas, which just happens to be where I'm living right now. And it's a really good joke. And I know I'm totally all over the place here, but there's just, when you find something funny and you find something good, you have to enjoy it. You have to jump into it, and you have to go, you know what? Not everything has to be hard and difficult and scary and sad and end of the world. So when you find something funny, embrace it. Okay, so now let's get on into the sign thing, okay? So I asked the question, where's my sign? And did somebody write on it with really good handwriting? Well, I do have a sign, and you have a sign too. Everyone has a sign, and we carry these signs and we read them kind of to ourselves. And what happens is other people write on our sign all the time. And the writing on our signs started before we were even born. It started at conception. And that sign that we have, that we carry, gets written on all the time, every day. It started, like I said, way back in the day, and it's still being written on today. And it depends on what is on that sign that sort of reveals to you who you are, how you look at yourself, who you see yourself to be, and whether you're writing on the sign or someone else is writing on the sign. The flip side of that is we're writing on other people's signs also, all the time. Every interaction we have with someone, we're writing on their sign. The question then becomes, are we writing something positive and uplifting and kind and encouraging? Or are we writing something snarky and condescending and unkind? Wow, how scary is that, to think that we're writing on someone else's sign and they begin to view themselves by what other people have written on their sign. I know this sounds a little crazy, and I know you're going, what are you talking about? Well, I'm doing something different this time. I'm sharing this information with you, and I want you to think about and find the scripture that goes with this. There is one specific scripture, but there are others also. So think about this as we're talking about it, and figure out what the sign is. Figure out what the scripture is, and drop it in the comments below. And next week, I will feature whoever's comment is right or the closest to what this devotional is about. When someone else writes on your sign, it makes an impression on you, positively or negatively, in the brain. And that impression becomes a part of you most of the time. And this is where we talk about that one verse that says, take every thought captive. Well, this also is take every sign, every message that you're given captive, and decide if it's the truth or if it doesn't apply to you, or if it's not the truth, or if it's just not something that you want to have written on your sign. And the cool thing is you can take the scripture kind of like a magic eraser, and you can just erase that off of your sign. Okay, I know, you're going, what in the world are you talking about? When you're a believer, you understand that you write on other people's quote-unquote signs, and they write on your sign. The optimal, the best, the Yahoo is to have God writing on your sign. And he's got great handwriting, like totally great handwriting. So if he's writing on your sign and someone else comes and writes on your sign and it doesn't line up with what he says about you, you take the magic eraser of scripture and you erase what they wrote. And you don't do it in a hateful, ugly, negative, nothing like that. You just kindly erase it off of your sign because it doesn't belong there. Now, the trick is catching yourself when you're writing on someone else's sign and you are not writing what God says about them. You're writing what in the spur of the moment you're irritated, and this is what I think about you, and blah, 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 no. Well, then you have to take scripture again, that magic eraser, and go erase it off their sign if they don't have the ability or have not recognized they needed it erased. That's our responsibility to each other, to build each other up, to hold on to each other, to keep each other in a perfectly fabulous, ongoing, supportive relationship with God and with each other. Okay, so here's your sign. Here's your magic eraser, which would be scripture. And now we're going to start practicing our lettering. So everything we write will be beautiful. How many scriptures can you find in this short devotional that I've just done? Give me the comments below, and next week we'll see how many we've got. And honestly, I have about 3 off the top of my head that I was thinking about when I was rambling through this devotional. I'll have to go back and listen to it and see if I have more in here. So let me know how many you found or you heard when I was doing this devotional, and let's compare notes next week. I have another video that kind of dives deeper, jumps into how many of these quote-unquote messages on your sign are something you choose and something you don't choose, and what you can do about it. So check out this next video if you want to see where the rest of the story kind of goes.